and welcome to the video right after the first weekend of Store Champs, which was really fun. I'd sort of, with the Maribel ones, I don't know, it become less of a challenge. I didn't really like the change to the top 8 too much, but I had a really good time this weekend playing Store Champs and getting like really stuck into local competitive play again, and seeing everyone there that, you sort of see throughout playing leagues and stuff like that, and just know from the area and seeing them all play at the best level. And yeah, just really good fun. Really glad I actually got stuck in this weekend and got made the best of the store champs. And this is more about celebrating everyone else's sort of success at the store champs and not really mine. So we ended up getting a top four. I just mentioned my run firstly. Don't want to really talk about it too much. We did a top four on the Saturday. We took the Kiwi Birds, of course. We took the deck that I've been bragging about. It was fun. It was good. It felt like I've sort of learned a bit about Dock Mines, and it feels like both those decks, the Kiwi Birds, the Blue Steel Aggro Dock. I'm calling it Kiwi Birds, and you're confused. That versus Dock Mines, it just seemed either of the decks could win on the play quite confidently. On the draw, it seemed like you're always just chasing lore, and you couldn't really close the game out better than the other opponent could. So there was a bit of die roll dependency there, and to be honest with you, that's not uncommon for just aggro decks in Lorcana in general. No, not kind of in like TCGs in general. To be honest with you, if your game plan is to close the game up very quickly and you don't really have a lot of control in the deck, um, usually the player who just goes first can tend to like close the win out or anything like that, and that's just pretty common in most TCGs. So I wasn't really upset with that. That sort of seemed fair. It did feel like maybe Mines had a bit more agency on the draw because they could sing the songs, but still we could ward up and put resist on Cogsworth and just close the games out as well. So it didn't feel like there was that much positives for playing Mines over the Alice Dock build. But yeah, it was a great weekend. Right now in the background, sorry, my top eight as well. I got a top eight on the Sunday before. Just I said I'd get mine done quickly and then jump into the actual video. Top eight, but I brought no wheel blue steel. I brought Sky's list. I don't know why I swapped. I think maybe because we'd won the content creator store champs. Top four was fine on the Saturday, and then I just thought maybe I'll try something different, just mess it up, mix it up because I play. Mess it up, yeah, really did mess it up. It didn't really perform very well. It was very hard to get through Swiss. It was just bricking and not working. Maybe because of my mind had been so much in this aggro style of play for so long that I hadn't really thought about how to control the board that much. But it just wasn't a really good run. Wasn't very happy with the performance. Kind of made me not want to play no wheel for the rest of the set really. So at least I have that knowledge. So we learned a little bit of something from that. And we still got a top eight, so that was fine. But that was my weekend. But going into the actual video, yeah, in the background I've just got like a slideshow of all the people who sent me stuff, and also as well I have the tweet that I put out and said, if anyone won a store champs or anything like that, please let me know or did well. And we can scroll through here and see some people did great. There's the Kiwi Birds, and that's kind of an inside joke between me and my testing group. I don't know why. I don't really know how it started, but I think it was when me and Justin were spending very many late nights testing the deck. We looked like a bunch of Kiwi birds in a voice chat following each other. So for some reason, that's just the name of the deck, and that's where the little jokes come from. But yeah, you got to see Wonderland play it, and then which was great to see. I think he even played Sky in the final on a wheel list, and I think it was down to a play draw dependency. Love that man. So yeah, that was the deck I was playing. Can't pilot it like he can. So we learnt that as well over the weekend. But yeah, people had some really good runs with it. Some top eights, top fours, seconds. Some people's first like promo card one, and loads of just really great responses. It was really great to see the deck represented. As I say, of course, wherever I play, the deck's gonna be represented because I've got a lot of people who'd like to play it as well that I test with. And my partner as well, my girlfriend, managed to win on Sunday. She comes up in the slideshow, so if you're seeing a girl holding a baton thing, the mat, sorry, not a baton, that's her. She managed to pilot to a win on the Sunday, which was just awesome. Very, very proud of her for that. That was just amazing. It was really fun to watch the games as well. They're very in depth. Even one of the games that I played, I didn't even think about that line at all. So I was thinking, damn, she's got to tell me how to play Lorcana now. So there she is. So yeah, it was a really good weekend, and it was just great to see how many people took the deck and managed to pilot some wins. I think that's going into non-stuff to do with my tweet there, sorry. Yeah, of course, I had some rough performance if you did a best of 2-1. I think winning the games on the draw, there are certain matchups where you can win on the draw. I think it's very hard to do it into the entire field, but I think you've got like green purple, you can ruby amethyst, I think you can. I'm shoring up the ruby sapphire matchup. We got some great wins on the Saturday versus ruby sapphire on the draw, which was very tough to do, but I've managed to get the wins in there. I think Doc Mines and the other aggro decks that are just going to quest out for lore and make you chase them. It feels like you can't really win against them on the draw, but Ruby Sapphire, I think you definitely can shore up and get a draw, get a win on the draw versus them. But yeah, I wanted to just say awesome, lovely to see the deck represented everywhere. I'm pretty sure Justin as well, the man who made the list, is absolutely thrilled with this. Like just because it's his creation and he's basically brought an entire new deck to Lorcana. You know, we still have the other Sapphire Steel decks, but we now have this new cool aggro dock build one. So yeah, just awesome to see it represented everywhere. But also as well, just to talk about like updating the list and stuff. So what we've learned from that weekend of play. And I saw not everyone run like card for card. Some people did end up running card for card the list. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to change it much. I might just stick with what I know. We're kind of at the end of set six. I'm kind of at a point where I've got free time to not spend my time endlessly practicing and trying to find text because it's only for the store champs. I've got no DLCs for this set coming up, so I'm just sort of probably locked in with my list. But it was very interesting to see some lists, and I'll go through the cards that sort of interest me. I think Benja was a really cool tech. They put a one-off Benja in, and I think you could probably go higher than that. And what that seemed is on curve versus Ruby Sapphire. Sorry, it's not, of course, not for dime. If they're at the point where they're dime tapping things, you've lost the game anyway. But what you can do is you can take out a Vitalis Field, or you could take out a Ice Block, and that does so much. They now don't have that utility of those two cards. They can't hire them, draw off it. So even if they just play a Porpsicle, you could hit the Porpsicle and take that out as well. So there was just loads of reasons to run that. You play it on curve. On 3 versus Ruby Sapphire, I'll admit Alice is good. She's still going to quest and give you an insane amount of lore, but it's kind of tricky playing that 1-4 out, thinking, you know, Sisu's coming at some point. Maui might come on 5, you know, or, you know, the turn earlier as well because they get to ramp. So it's not always that great, but a 2-3 that gives you some utility, which slows them down because they can't draw as much of the Hiram. They can't use the Ice Block to start Ice Block Sisuing things. It seems pretty strong. It does, of course, just get removed by Sisu in the end, but you get some utility as well as the use, and he quests for 2. And to be honest with you, this deck, if you just tell me a card and then say quest for 2, I'm probably going to say, yeah, play him, put him in the list. That seems fine to me. So yeah, that was an interesting choice in there. And Fire the Cannon seems to be the common one that sort of comes in and out of lists. I, of course, know nothing against it. Really, the thought process that landed us on 2 Babooms was we used to play Twin Fire. Twin Fire was very good at the start of the set because you had these lines where it was Cinderella into a Piglet, and if you play Twin Fire, you could take both out, and that was enough tempo to get you back in the game. Losing the card from the hand didn't really matter that much. And then you had Merfolk into Banzai as well. You could take up both of them, and you lost the card in your hand, which you'd have lost anyway if you hit the Merfolk, so it didn't matter. Really good tempo swing. Not seeing those lines as much. We kind of still wanted the 2 damage because sometimes you just use it to take out a Diablo, Robin Hood Shift, Cinderella that's popping off, you know, whatever you need it to be, a Morph even. So we went to Fire the Cannons actually for a little bit, and then we realized that having these removal cards was kind of really bad into Ruby Sapphire. Not really bad. I mean, sometimes they'll run a Maui into a Smee and then you can chip away and take it out with the Twin Fire or the Fire the Cannons. But we noticed we basically just didn't want to draw these uninkable removal cards that were going to sit on our hand until the game ended because we had no targets for them. So we were just like, let's do 2 Boom because Ruby Sapphire is the most popular deck in Lorcana right now. It gets the biggest meta percent shares. So we were just like, we want to ink it because of the environments that we play in. We're playing into Ruby Sapphire a lot. So if we drew a Baboon, we wanted to ink it so we could just, you know, play more value towards our ink and just play everything on curve rather than having to choose between inking a Smee or something else because we've got this uninkable removal card. So we changed to Baboon. It's fine, but again, if you're at store champs, I'm not saying Ruby Sapphire doesn't seem to be dominating at store champs. At least it didn't in my area the 2 weekends. It was represented. There was 3 or 4 in a room either day. You know, I think there was 2 on the Sunday actually. Sorry, but it seems it just has a rough game into a lot of this aggro stuff and Doc Mines as well. And you have to pilot it perfectly, and not on top of that, everything you have to draw has to be perfect. You know, your Tipo, Tyler, Maui, then you ramp into your removal. It seems they have to get a lot to go right for it to work. So a lot of them just weren't performing very well. And I could see if you were playing at store champs where it's not performing very well and you're not playing into it at all, you didn't play any rounds of it. I played it once over the weekend. You could start opting for the other cards again, like Fire the Cannons and Twin Fire. Fire the Cannons means you can double spell. Maybe on free you can play it and play a 2-drop, you know. So that one less cost is also very useful for you and very valuable. So I could definitely see you putting that back in. That was really cool. And Twin Fire as well, awesome because yeah, you can do those double removals. And if people are playing like purple decks that they're just dropping like 3 1-drops by turn 3, you know, you can use that Twin Fire to even out the board. So definitely, yeah, if these cards they think they've got value to them, please put them back in again. The list that I have on Dreamborn is just representative of what I expect to play. But beyond that, the changes are very minor for things going forward. Like I think the deck is very much locked in, and as I say, I'm not going to be updating it very much. I think you could take that to a store champs and have a very good run with it. And I've seen that from the slideshow that I've got on the tweets as well, and the lovely responses. And what? So yeah, I was going to do one last card as well. That interested me, and then I was going to end the video because this is just rambling over a slideshow, really. Um, is Chiempo seemed a really good choice. So you could take out one of the 5 drops, and I think Beast would definitely be the 5 drop to remove. He never going to get that card draw. The card draw is very slow. If you're using Dock to draw your cards, and then you're trying to get a Beast to draw your cards, it's very rough. The reason why he sticks around is he is technically still card draw. You could Alice Ward him, and he quests for 2. So overall, he is not the worst card in the world to play. We definitely don't hate him. But of course, you could take him out. Chiempo could mean that the cards you've played before Chiempo, your 1, 2, 3, and 4, get to live a bit longer because they've got a 4/7 with bodyguard protecting them. I like that. I think into Maui Shark that's kind of rough, but we just didn't get into that. But into Maui, that's going to protect you a turn. It's going to be so much more they have to chip away at. They can't really Medusa it. Medusa's not even around really anymore. What are they going to do? Let it go or Hades it? Like, what are the options for them? Zeus and then let Storm Rage on. Their options are very thin on how to remove a Chi Impose. He instantly creates a very toxic board state. He quests for 1 less, but I still think he's very good. He can start trading up as well. He'll take out a Lawrence, and then you've still got still a very good body on the board as well that's got bodyguard. So I just think he's a really good inclusion that people have been saying. So that's definitely worth it. And actually, one point that came into my head as I was saying this, as I was about to wrap up the video, even my missus and a few other people as well in Discord have said they wanted more Baymaxes in the list. And to be honest with you, sure, yeah. And I looked at like their rounds and their pairings, and it's like such a low amount of Ruby matchups, and maybe that's because Doc Mines is doing so well, and all of these low to the ground aggro decks, the Ruby Amethyst and Ruby Sapphire could be struggling with, that we're just not seeing as many Ruby decks. So yeah, the only reason we're only playing 2 Baymax is because Ruby is so strong. You wouldn't want to set him up against a Sisu. Brawl is a card Ruby Amethyst has, and he's just going to be so useless in those matchups. So 2 was a fine count because he's very good into the steel ones. You should draw him at the appropriate times. But a lot of people over the weekend said they just really wish they drew into a Baymax, not BMAX, a Baymax at the right time because they would have won. You know, Smee takes his damage when he quests or turns exerted. You take trades with different characters, don't you? People play like damagey spells on the board. You could run something in, take it out, then Baymax. So yeah, I could definitely understand it. I think you could take even that beast out and put a Baymax in if you wanted to. And that 2 beasts, I think is very much a flex spot. And we've really learned that over the weekend. They never really shined for anyone. No one's come back and said, oh, those beasts were really important. I had that in the list. So definitely 2 cards that you could flex out and put in. But yeah, that's sort of my wrap from the weekend. Really hope people enjoy the list. Keep playing it. Leave any comments about questions. I will do a Emerald Alpha matchup guide, and I'll probably do a couple more as well. But if you've got any more suggestions for other matchups, please let me know. If you struggled with anything over the weekend, I'm sure I can talk you through it and say what's best to do. But yep, thank you very much for the support. It's been awesome to see everyone playing the list.